2:30 to 3:30, then tea break. Then after that, we will do some meditation together with chanting. All right. So even though 2:30 to 3:30, I try to also put some chanting there, so we get the Dhamma and get some self-practice. All right. Now, let's go for today's topic. Why I choose this topic? First, because I major in Pāļi. Because my research is on Pāļi, one of the ancient commentary written in about 11th, 12th century for my thesis. And I translate the Pāļi to English. So Pāļi is my favorite subject. So besides Pāļi, I also like the Tipiṭaka, right? So you are most welcome to jot down the point. Of course, after this session, I will share the notes to you. But normally, I will not share in advance because I know that if I share in advance, you read already, you feel that no need to come. That's the nature of human mind, you know. So this is why I say don't share. I share, you all the one to come already. Right? Okay, I will read. So after that, the brother T will help me to read the Chinese. Why I asked him to help is because I'm Malay English educated. My Chinese is self-taught. This means that I never been to any Chinese school. I learned the Dhamma and Dhamma in Chinese and also some of the Chinese words. So I might mispronounce something. So to prevent embarrassment, okay, that's why I asked those Chinese educated to read. Okay, sadhu, to brother T. Okay, let's start the session. To follow the Buddha's path, it helps to know about its most important tools, the Pāļi language and Tipiṭaka. These are not just old books and old language. They are living heart of the Buddha's teaching for many Buddhists around the world.
要追随佛陀的道路，了解其重要的工具是有帮助的。巴利语和三藏，这些不仅仅是旧书和旧语言，对于世界各地的许多佛教徒来说，它们是佛陀教义的活生生的核心。
Okay, so this is just interest. Right. Now, we want to know what is Pāļi. People always ask this question because when we do the historical research, actually the Pāļi words is not there. What we know is that Magadhi, the speech of Magadha, is a Middle IndoAryan dialect family associated with the Buddha's region. Early Buddhist tradition say the Buddha taught in Magadhi, so the language is supposed to be Magadhi. But now, why do we call it Pāļi? So the explanation will come later. Pāļi is actually a standard literary language or Theravada canon. Canon means the text, the Dhamma, and so on. So it preserves many features of Middle IndoAryan, but it's not identical to any single local dialect. Scholars view Pāļi as a koine, mixed, standardized form, drawing on several dialects, including Magadhi. I'll read some more. In brief, the Buddha teachings are preserved in Pāļi. Pāļi is a word for the text. Magadhi is the actual language. They are the same. Now, it's because there's a lot of argument on the internet. They say Pāļi is not a language. They say Magadhi is actually a language because at that time, the place is called Magadha. So when I did some research and I come across many scholars, so one of the very well-known scholars, he said, Magadhi is the word spoken at that time, but Pāļi is a written text. For example, you might speak Chinese to each other or English to each other, but the way you write is slightly different from the way you speak. So normally written language and spoken language is different. For example, we can use the word like cincai la, jalan jalan, makan makan, but you cannot write like this. It sounds too casual, right? Yeah. So we have to make it, so there are two different, means Pāļi is text, words for the text. then Magadhi is actually the language. So the scholar, which finally I did a research on this, so the scholar say they are the same. So that's why we don't need to argue, is it Pāļi or Magadhi? All right, so these are same. So this is a key point here. Right, let's read the Chinese.
摩揭陀语，摩揭陀的语言是与佛陀所在地区相关的古中印度亚利安语言。早期佛教传统认为佛陀曾在摩揭陀说法。巴利语上座部佛教经典的规范文学语言，它保留了许多古印度雅利安语的特征，但并不等同于任何单一的地方语言。学者们认为巴利语是一种通用语，混合的标准化的语言，融合了包括摩揭陀语在内的许多方言。简而言之，佛陀的教义保存在巴利语中。巴利语是经文的名称，摩揭陀语是实际使用的语言，它们是同一种语言。
Okay. Now I will explain in Chinese. Okay, 所以我先讲重点哈。其实那时候就是讲，因为这个马甘迪，那时候在印度一个地方叫马甘达，所以他们讲佛陀用的语言是叫马甘迪。可是后来这个巴黎字出现了，所以很多人说巴黎语不是佛陀讲的语言。可是很多我看那个网际网络他们的科学家他们研究。其实马甘迪就是马甘迪是一个方言，是那时所讲的。可是巴黎语是属于我们讲文字上的语言，所以他们呢虽然是名字不一样，巴黎文是属于语言上的文字上的语言，马甘迪才是属于当地的方言。可是他们是一样的，因为方言跟那个文字上的巴黎字。虽然是有一点差别，可是意思是一样的。哦，可以哦。Okay, all right. Okay. Pāļi is believed to be the everyday language that the Buddha spoke when he taught. He did not teach in a complicated scholar language. He spoke simple words so that everyone, farmer, kings, merchants, and householder could understand his messages and ideas.
人们认为巴利语是佛陀说法时使用的日常语言，它没有使用复杂深奥的学术语言，而是使用简单的词语，以便所有人、农民、国王、商人、普通百姓都能理解他的教诲和想法。
Okay, so this is an important point. When Buddha spoke, he taught in everyday language. Because at that time, beside the Pāļi or Magadhi, there's another language, is Sanskrit. Sanskrit is much more complicated. And Sanskrit is believed to spoke by the Brahmin, those Hindu priests at that time. So one day, there's a monk, he asked the Buddha also to speak Sanskrit, because that is shown to be more high caste. The Buddha said no, he wanted to make it common language so everybody can understand. Because the point of teaching the Dharma is to help to liberate beings from suffering. So no point he taught very high level language. He need to reach out to farmer or all the way to king or merchant or householder, because that's the wish. He wanted to understand the message. Okay. 所以佛陀呢讲的语言，巴利文是普通人语言，就是人们日常讲的语言。因为如果他讲那种深奥的、复杂的语言是什么呢？就是那时还有另外一个语言，就是梵文 （Sanskrit 梵文）。那种梵文呢是那些好像波罗文啊，算是印度他们的 他们的法师他们所讲的话。可是主要是佛法是要教导给人家，因为是要度他们。如果佛陀讲深奥的语言，没有人可以明白。这是为什么巴黎文是讲普通人家讲的话，非常简单，每个人可以理解它的意见。Okay. Today, Pāli is not spoken as a language, a daily language. Instead, it's carefully kept alive by monks, nuns, and students. It is a special container that holds the Buddha's exact meaning, safe from the changes and mistakes that can happen when things get translated over and over.
如今，巴利语已不再作为日常语言使用，它由僧侣、尼师和学生精心传承。巴利语如同一个特殊的容器，承载着佛陀教义的确含义，使其免受反复翻译过程中可能出现的更改和错误。
Okay, so the thing is now nobody speak Pāli, but some people when they speak Hindi also quite a little bit similar with Pāli because they come from the same place. But as a Pāli, we don't really speak it unless you speak simple things like Suki Hotu, like Namo Tassa, like Namo Buddhaya. But we don't use it like in a normal conversation. But why is it so important? Because it is contain the original teaching of the Buddha. We call it original Dhamma. So anything changes, we can refer it back again. So it protect it from any further changes because the source is already there. This is the main source. 虽然是巴利文现在没有人时常用啊，可是就是被出家人我们保留，我们记得它，就想防止改变啊。因为有时候字啊，当我们翻译其他语言，那个含义会改的，意思会改变的。巴利文就是原文，原文保持它纯正的意思，这是为什么巴利文是很重要的。虽然现在我们真的是没有把它当成的普通语言来讲。Okay, now clear. So this is the introduction of Pāli and Magadhi. So it's good to have some background, especially on the Middle IndoAryan. But this is a big topic because it covers many other languages. Like some of the Euro language, they're also quite similar with Pāli because they also got male and female, masculine, feminine. So 有一些语言像好像那个Euro 叫什么？欧洲国家，他们有点相似，因为他们有男性、雌性的分别的。OK， 所以我们进去先。This is on Pāli. Next topic is on Tipiṭaka. Tipiṭaka is a collection of teaching. The word Tipiṭaka means tree, basket. Ti is tree. Piṭaka is basket. Long ago, the teaching were written on palm leaves and stored in tree basket. This name stuck for the three main parts of the Buddhist scripture. This collection is full and official record of what the Buddha taught and the words for monks and nuns.
三藏经词义为三个篮子，替为三，Piṭaka为篮子。很久以前，佛法被写在棕榈叶上，并存放在三个篮子里。这个名称便沿用至今，用来指代表佛教经典的三个主要部分。这套经书完整且正式地记录了佛陀的教义以及僧女的戒律。
Okay, so this is something you have to remember. Like for Christian, they have Bible, right? For Buddhists, what do you have? Tipiṭaka, right? 所以基督教他们有他们的圣经，像我们佛教有我们的三藏。So this is called Tipiṭaka. Now, how many of you read before? Do you know about Tipiṭaka? How many of you have Tipiṭaka at home? 有多少有三藏在家？没有。
No,
No,
because a lot.
Not a lot. Main one is only 4. 主要是4本。OK， 给你们看一下。Alright， OK， 我们等一下我再讲哦。所以我们讲第一个先啊，三藏。Alright， so there are 3 baskets. The first one is Vinaya. Right, so 3. We start with number 1 first. Okay, now we are going to more detail. So if you are hardworking, you can write down, right? The Piṭaka, the Vinaya Piṭaka, the basket of rules. This is the book of discipline for the monastic community, the Sangha. It has all the rules for monks and nuns. It also tells the stories of why each rule was made, which teaches my important lesson about living a good and mindful life.
律藏 Vinaya Piṭaka 戒律之蓝，这是僧团僧伽的戒律之书，包含了僧尼的所有戒律。它还讲述了每条戒律的由来，从中教导人们如何过上美好而正念的生活。
Okay, so this book is actually more for monks and nuns. So most of you will never read it. It's actually, I would say, sometimes you can say it's a little bit boring. It depends on how you read. But if you want the about the part, you can read it. Some you tell the life of monks and nuns and so on. So I just opened this one, so you can find the Tipiṭaka here. So you can find the suttacentral.net. Okay, Sutta Center. So you can find this one, Tipiṭaka. So you can go online. So sometimes we also call it Buddhist canon, canon, Tipiṭaka or Buddhist canon. 三藏哦，这个是 canon， 不是 cannon 啊，所以不要写错。So some people when they write Buddhist canon, they write canon. I don't know, there's a different meaning. Canon is bomb, all right? Now, the first one is this one, monastic law, Vinaya Piṭaka. So actually, if you're interested to know what is the Piṭaka, you can come here and click it and you can see there are few translation and so on. Okay, so then this is a quite new one, translated by Bhikkhu Brahmali. Have you heard about him? Bhikkhu Ajahn Brahm disciple. So this is a quite new one. Yeah, Ajahn Brahm disciple. So Mahasangika is more on the Chinese side, and there are some also. So this is quite simple to read. So if you, let's say some of you aspire to be a monk, so you can read this one if you're interested. You want to know what monks can do, what cannot do, what nuns can do, what nun. Nun, I mean, refer to the bhikkhu and bhikkhuni. So this is quite easy to read, so you can download by yourself. This is a Vinaya Piṭaka. 这就是律藏，讲到僧团比丘比丘尼应该守的戒，很多故事，因为里边讲，如果他们犯了一个戒，佛陀讲给其他的教导等等。So it's like when you read, is when they break the rules. So the Buddha will put on the rules. So when people, the monks break another rule, so the law will come because of their certain behavior. Okay. Now, the other one, the second one is the Sutta, right? So this is another one. Sutta. So we have 3. 第二就是讲我们讲这个，第一个是律藏，律藏。第二个是经藏。平常你们有听什么经？阿含经、 出转法轮经，还有法句经。经是这个字 Sutta 哦 ，Sutta Piṭaka。So the Sutta Piṭaka, the basket of discourses, this is the main collection of the Buddha's sermons and conversation. It includes all his most famous teaching like the Four Noble Truths, the Noble Eightfold Path, the Dhammapada, a book of wise verses. Here he explains how to live wisely and find peace. So this is an admonishment or teaching of the Buddha. It's very different from the first one. The first one is more for rules for monks and nuns. So this one, I think most of you will never read it. Sutta, you come across some of them, not all of them.
经藏苏达比达嘎，佛陀说法和对话的主要合集，它包含了佛陀所有最著名的教义，例如四圣谛、八正道和法句经，一部智慧寄颂集。佛陀在经藏中阐述了如何智慧的生活，并获得内心的平静。
Okay, so I think it's important for Buddhists to have this book. It's only 4 books, 4 of them only, right? We call it in the Pāļi, Tika Nikaya, collection of long discourses. Okay, for example, Christian, they will have 2 Bible, right? New Testament, Old Testament, right? So in the Dhamma, we have 4. This 4 is the main one you should have. Right? Because you can also purchase the book from the internet. Right? So the first one is called Tika Nikaya, collection of long discourse. Second one, Majjhima Nikaya, collection of middle length discourse. Why it called long? Because there are 34 sutta, they are long, sometimes 10 pages, 20 pages, quite long. So middle length is not so long. So it's a 152 suttas. This is actually quite profound because they talk about practice, insight, and daily application. Now, another one we call it Samyutta Nikaya, connected discourses, thematically grouped suttas based on key topics like aggregates, sets and bases, dependent or arising. So it's a sutta they connected because of the different topics. So one topic like 5 aggregates will be 5 aggregates. One topic about king Kosala will be king Kosala. One topic on dependent origination will be dependent origination. Okay, so it's good for those who want to research. Then another one we call Anguttara Nikaya, numerically arranged discourses, teaching organized by number. So there will be 1, 2. For example, the Buddha was asked, what is 1? The 1 will be something, then what is 2 and 3? So it actually have few books here. I go first. The last one is Kuttaka Nikaya, minor short collection. It's a diverse anthology including Dhammapada. So you all heard about Dhammapada. Actually, it belongs to this one. And then Sutta Nipata, this is not so famous. Udana is some of the verses spoken by Buddha. Idi Uddaka. And Theravada is the story about monks, Thera, and story about nuns, Theri. Right? Theravada, and more. So all together, you 1, 2, 3, 4. Because the last one is made of collection of many. So normally, the most important thing is you should have this one. You know, all the Buddhists should have this one because it's only 4 books. 4 books only. Okay, so we go for Chinese first.
中文简要长部 Digha Nikaya 长集经，34部较长的经涵盖界定宇宙观与解脱之道。中部 Majjhima Nikaya 中集经，152部中等篇幅的经，重在修行方法、洞见与日常应用。相应阿含经相应经集按主题分组的经，如五蕴、处、缘起等核心法义。真知部、真知阿含、真义 阿含经集按数字分类的教法，一法、二法、三法，偏重实用要点，小部经典，多样选集，包括法句经、经集自说、如是语、长老记、长老尼记等。
Okay, so here I will open the Pāļi software. So this is a software that contains the Pāļi, right? So you can see the word Pāļi canon. So it also got the dictionary. So when I click it, the Tipiṭaka, I hope you can see the first one is Vinaya. So there are 4 books, 5 books for the Vinaya, the rules for monks. Then Sutta Piṭaka, like just now the long length, middle length, connected, and so on. Then there's also the next one with Abhidhamma. So you can see the Tipiṭaka exists in English translation, in Chinese translation, but the original form is in Pāļi. So when we open any Pāļi book like here, we can see the Pāļi text. Okay? All these are Pāļi texts. So for those who are interested to learn Tipiṭaka, if you still have the energy, it's good to learn Pāļi because you really get to know the Dhamma at the original form. So all these are Pāļi. It's like when you learn English or Chinese, Pāļi is a text and it has its own meaning. Okay. Now just go back to this one. So let's go for this one. Now this book is being translated by Bhikkhu Sujato. You can download, can print out the long length discourse. 所以这些在网际网络都可以找到长部哦 ，middle length，中部link discourse，这个相应部 numeral discourse 的增字部 ，and then this is the last one under one Dhammapada. Okay, so actually you can just click it and you download and read by yourself. It's not so difficult. Yeah, they also I think recently the Theravada Buddhist Council organized the book right to be printed. Any of you get 1 copy? 5 of them you get already. Have you read it?
It's not easy, but I received it during the exam.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I was trying to read it. It's not easy.
Okay.
The language that you use is not simple.
Yeah. So the Bande Sujato, I think he's Australian monk. He rewrite in the much more simple English, so you can download and read. He kind of like simplified in the little bit modern English because the one you read is sometimes maybe they try to stick more to the Pāļi, so it's much more wordy, very descriptive also. All right, but it's good to try to read once in a while, you know, because we always say if other religions have their Bible, how come Buddhists don't know what is our main teaching, what is our Buddhist canon? All right. So the first one will be like we just now monastic law Vinaya. So 第一个是戒律，第二个是经藏 ，then the third one is Abhidhamma. 有3个。So you can find all this internet. So the first one will be Vinaya, the second one will be Sutta, and the third one will be Abhidhamma. Right? So 第3就是 Abhidhamma. So these books are different. Vinaya is monks and nuns, more on rules and monks and nuns. Sutta is everybody can read, whether monks or nuns or lay people. Now Abhidhamma is different, it's much more higher. Okay, Abhidhamma Piṭaka, the basket of deep teaching. It is a very detailed and technical guide to the mind. It breaks down every experience, every thought, feeling, and perception, and also material body into its smallest parts. It is like the honor manual for understanding how the mind works. So it's like, for example, when you see something, what is the process of seeing? When you think about something, what is the process of thinking? When you think about that, when you eat the food, how will the food be digested? And when you get angry, what is the process of getting anger? Like when you move the body, what happened to different parts of the body? Sometimes very minute one, we call it kalapa. Right? So all these are very detailed. So it's actually interesting to read for those who have scientific mind. They think it's more interesting because it really breaks down all the experience and so on.
阿毗达摩藏，一部非常详尽且专业的关于心智的指南。它将每一种体验、每一个念头、感受和觉知，还有色身，分解成最小的组成部分。它就像一本帮助你了解自身心智运作方法的使用手册。
Okay, so this is some guideline here. So you just click the link or you go to Sutranet and then you'll find this Abhidhamma, but for systematic treatises. So Theravada, and then there are how many books? Dhamma Sanghani, 1, Vinay Vibhanga, 2, Tatukata, 3, Pugala Panyati, point on controversy, Katawatu, pace, conditional. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, it's very, we call use the word chin, very deep. It's I think you heard the book Comprehensive Manual of Abhidhamma, right? Abhidhamma Kaya, right? So the book Comprehensive Manual of Abhidhamma is written by Venerable Anuruddha, some of the main points of Abhidhamma. So it's been translated a few times into English, and final one by Bhikkhu Bodhi is actually very profound because it gets the main idea from this Abhidhamma. So totally we have how many? We have so we come back to this. So always don't forget the Tipiṭaka means these three. You have Vinaya rules for monks and nuns. You have Sutta for everybody to read, regardless you are lay people or monastic. And you have Abhidhamma if you want to understand how to practice well, because it will help you to understand your mind method. It's helpful for meditator. Like Pāḷi Meditation Center, they taught their disciple to comprehend the dhammas in the body according to Abhidhamma. Right? So remember we had 3 baskets. One is Vinaya, rules for monks and nuns. Second one will be suttas for everybody. Third one will be Abhidhamma. Okay, remember? 3. First one is Vinaya, rules for monks and nuns. Second one will be Sutta. It's discourse from the Buddha to everybody, regardless of topics, many topics. And last one is Abhidhamma. It's much more for very deep Dhamma for us to learn about mind and matter. So these only 3. That's the meaning of Tipiṭaka. Right? Okay, I think so we go for this one, then we do some chanting. Now, how do they work? How is the connection between Pāļi and Tipiṭaka? So Pāļi and Tipiṭaka, they depend on each other. So think it. The Tipiṭaka is treasure, the precious gift of the Buddha wisdom. And the Pāļi language is the locked treasure chest that keep it safe. So this means that the Pāļi language contains the Tipiṭaka, or Tipiṭaka is explained by the Pāļi.
巴利语和三藏完全相互依存，不妨这样理解：三藏是宝藏，佛陀智慧的无价之宝；巴利语是守护宝藏的宝箱。
Okay. Now, if you only have translation which are copies of the treasure, some details might get lost or altered. But if you have the key Pāļi, you can open the original chest and see the treasure just as it is. Pāļi gives the teaching pure, and the teachings give Pāļi its great importance and purpose.
如果你只有一本，就像宝藏的副本，一些细节可能会遗失或改变。但如果你拥有钥匙， 巴利，你就能打开元宝箱，看到宝藏的本来面目。巴利使教义保持纯正，而教育赋予巴利崇高的地位。
Okay, now this is last one. For anybody who wants to understand the Buddha's path clearly, from the beginner to the monk, learning about Pāli and the Tipiṭaka is the best way to go straight to the source.
对于任何想要清晰理解佛陀修行之道的人来说，无论初学者还是僧侣，学习巴利语和三藏都是直达本源的最佳途径。本指南的其余部分将解释为和这对各类修行者都如此有益。
Okay, so now I just open the one sutta for you to hear. Okay, this is a middle length sutta. So we open one to see. Okay, you can even open online. Just click it and this one. So we open the Pāli and English. Line by line. Okay, so when I open the sutta, I click this word view and I open line by line. So I can see the Pāli and the English. All right, so this is very good for those who want to learn Pāli English. So evam me suttam. Thus, so I had heard. Right? At one time, the Buddha was staying at Ugalata in the Subala forest at the root of the tree. Right? Then the Buddha addressed the monk. Then the Buddha said, I will teach you the roots of all things. Sabba Dhamma Mula Pariyaya. Right? Then this one. So you can see the Pāli here, the English translation here. And now, what did he say? The Buddha said, those who are neither skilled nor trained in the teaching of Noble One, who have not seen true person, are neither skilled nor trained in the teaching of the true person. They perceive the earth as earth. Then they conceive the earth as mind. Right? They approve on the earth. Why? Because they have not completely understand it. So when you look at the English, it's very, like you say, very difficult. What's the earth as earth? What's the earth as mind? You know, this is a very, because it's translated from the Pāli. Patawi is earth. So they see the earth as mind. 所以这部经讲一个没证悟、没多学的人，他们把土当成土，把土当成是我。And why is it? Because they have not completely understood. So they perceive the water, perceive the, and so on, fire, four great elements, perceive the A. So water, earth, water, fire, A. They conceive it to be I and mind and so on. So when you read the Pāli, you can like click, I think, maybe there's a dictionary here. But anyway, you can check with the dictionary later. So the sutta go on and so on. Yeah. So that's how we can learn. If we see the Pāli, we learn the English, we can roughly know the meaning, Pāli to English meaning. Right? So, okay, this sutta is quite long. So it's just go for the end. He's talking about. This is quite long sutta all the way. And then all the way to different types of. Okay, so this is how we do if, for example, you want to learn Pāli English, so you just click like this side by side or side by side. So line by line is one line of Pāli, one line English. So side by side is different. side by side is okay. So this is called side by side, where Pāli and English is side by side, right? Dialect. So you can see the meaning. I have not completely understood it. Apanyatan tasa wadami. So you get the original Pāli and you get the English translation. This is helpful if you want to learn Pāli. So 我们是Pāli跟英文看是比较容易的，可以看到它的意思。So this one way to learn from this Sutta Center. There are many ways to learn, so they also got voice and so on. So anyway, all right, so I will go for detail important. Now, why we want to learn the Dhamma? Dhamma means the Tipiṭaka. The first detail is to truly honor the Buddha, seeing the Dhamma, seeing the Buddha. So the Buddha himself said, one who sees the Dhamma sees me. This is the most profound way to honor the Buddha. It's not through ritual, but through deeply understand his teaching.
真正敬奉佛陀，见佛法，见佛。佛陀曾说：“见佛法者，即见我。”敬奉佛陀最深刻的方式，并非通过仪式，而是通过深刻理解他的教义。
Okay. By making the effort to learn Pāli and study the Tipiṭaka, you commit to seeing his true intention and wisdom directly, as preserved in his own words. This practice honors his legacy by varying the essence of his enlightenment, the Dhamma, above all else.
通过努力学习巴利语和研习三藏，你便致力于直接领悟他真正的意图和智慧。正如他亲口所言，这种修行方式遵从他的遗则，将他觉悟的精髓佛法置于一切之上。
Okay. Now, we say this point is very important. Seeing the Dhamma, seeing the Buddha. Because I just put this picture here. Because most of you, like for example, you see the Buddha. But do you really know who is the Buddha? Who is he actually? But through his Dhamma, his teaching, what does his teaching? He teaches about liberation. He teaches about liberation from suffering, about letting go, the danger of sensual desire, the danger of having greed, hatred, delusion, the 3 points. So through the teaching, we know that the Buddha, he wants us to be having a pure mind. He said having the purity mind is important, and to get out from the samsara, which is dangerous because we can reborn in hell. So by we learn the Dhamma, we start to understand who's the Buddha. Like I put the picture here, you thought you know the Buddha, but unless you know his teaching, then you really appreciate who is the Buddha. Okay, so 我们讲，有时候我们说，我们好像看到佛像，我们就以为我们真正明白佛像。其实如果要真正明白佛是谁，我们要通过他的佛法，他的教法，因为他教法跟我们讲要有清净的心，又脱离这个生死轮回，要灭贪嗔痴，这样我们才可以珍惜佛陀的教导。所以当我们可以珍惜佛法，我们才可以真正明白佛陀到底是谁。If not, we thought the Buddha is Prince Siddhartha, 2,550 years ago. But that is more like story, right? Because we only see him like when we teach the Sunday Dhamma class. The Prince Siddhartha, he get married, he has one child, he leave the house, right? But what is the Buddha? Or who is the Buddha? So by seeing the Dhamma, that is a Tipiṭaka, we really appreciate. So when you read the sutta yourself, you start to, because the sutta is a dialogue of the Buddha with the kings, dialogue of the Buddha with the lay person, with the farmers. So you can see how Buddha applied his wisdom when he talked with them, conversed with them. OK， 所以通过我们的经藏看到佛陀跟穷人家、跟国王跟他们对话，所以我们才明白佛陀的大智慧、佛陀的大慈悲心来引导众生。Alright. Now the second point is develop the unshakable confidence. Confidence based on personal verification is powerful. When you read the Buddha's direct words and see the logical coherence and practical results of the path, your trust transforms from blind faith to reasoned confidence and verified belief. So this sadhana, faith, confidence become a resilient source of energy and perseverance, especially during the changes in practice.
基于个人验证的信心是强大的。当你研读佛陀的教诲，领悟修行之道的逻辑性和实际成效时，你的信任便会从盲信转变为理性的信心。这种信心会成为你坚韧不拔的能量和毅力的源泉，尤其是在修行过程中遇到挑战时。
Okay, I think from here we just have a break from listening, so we do some chanting, especially chanting that to do with the Buddha's meaning. So I open the chanting that you all can see. Okay, this is one chanting that is very meaningful because when we say we read the Tipiṭaka, so this is coming from the one of the sutta, the middle length sutta called Bande Karata. It's a very short sutta, but it's very meaningful. So when we read the sutta, you understand the message given by the Buddha about how we should practice vipassana, how should we contemplate the mind. So by this, when you read again, you appreciate the Buddha's wisdom. So 这部经是我们讲一言贤者，给我们知道，就是讲在经藏中部的经，就是那个中部的阿含经，讲到一些内观智慧的修法。所以通过这部经，我们可以看到佛陀的劝导和让我们讲关照我们的心。Okay, so we can practice together. I think this sutta maybe most of you are not familiar. It's not in the Sinhalese tradition, but we all can chant together. Because I think you heard from, just now listen to me for 40 minutes. Your mind will be numb already. So let's activate your mind now. So we put the hand together and we chant. You all try to follow me. Atitam nawagameya napatikam ke anagatam yadaditam pahinam tam apanancha anagatam pachupana choyo dhammam tata vipassanti asam hiram asam upam tam vidva manu bruhaye ajiwa kichamatapam gojanye maranam suve nahi no sangaram tena mahasinena machuna ewa vihari matapim ahorata matam titam tam vebante karototi santo achikade muniti. Okay, we read the English translation together, and after that we will read the Chinese. Okay, we start now. The past should not be traced back. No wonder about the future. The past has passed away. Unreached is the future. And the present, whatever phenomena, is as it is, one see with insight, invisibly, unshakably, of that which can be pierced by penetration. Even today, the effort must be made. Who knows that may come tomorrow? There is no bargaining with the great army of the King of Death. Thus abiding ardently by day and night endlessly, the ideal lover of solitude, the tranquil sage has called him. Okay, we will read the chimes together. Okay, 一起念。
不该回首过去，一别遐思将来。过去已逝，将来未至。而当下任何法相，如实的关照，坚定不动摇，可洞察之实相，今日便今日便好努力，谁知明日死亡为临降临，无可讨价还价与死亡之大兵。如此精勤的安住，不论日月，模范的受孤寂者。安详的贤者如此的称赞他。
OK， 这部经叫《Bhante Karata Sutta》，就是在中部经。So this is a middle length discourse, the 152. You find this book. So we see the meaning. This is given by the Buddha to one person who want to listen. The Buddha tell us how should we meditate. We should not trace back the past. Don't think about the future, because the past has passed away and the future is unreached. So this means that when we meditate, we don't go to the past, we don't go to the future, because they are no more. What you do is the present, whatever phenomenon, so whatever the mind matter might appear now, your mentality and materiality, you should see with insight. Invisibly and Shakara. And then the Buddha talk about effort. You must make effort today, even today. Why? Because that might happen tomorrow. You know, people do die suddenly. All right? So we must prepare for that. You cannot bargain with the dead king. Right? So we should practice day and night. So it's a very short sutta, but it's very meaningful. It talk about vipassana point. How you should let go the past, let go the future, just dwell in the present moment. And we must be eagerly practice, ardently practice day and night. All right, day and night, according to this sutta. So 这部经是讲到我们不要想到未来，不要去过去，因为未来已经不在，过去还没有到。当下的任何的身心现象，我们在如此关照。OK。So it's a very meaningful one. 还有明天呢，我们可能死亡会到达，所以今天要努力精进的修禅，因为我们不能跟死亡讨价还价。So what do you think? Is it meaningful? Yeah. Okay. So we chant again. So you all will not feel so sleepy, right? Okay. Let's try again. Bhante Karata Gata. Verses on a well-spent night. Aditam Navagamneya Napadikam Ke Anaketam Yadaditam Padinam Tam Apatanan Cha Anagatam Paccuppanna cayo dhammam tata tata vipassati asam hiram asam upam tam vidva manubhuhaye ajewa kicamatapam kojanye maranam suve nahi no sangaram tena mahasenena machuna ewa vihari matapi ahorata matam titam tam ve bande karatoti santo achikade muniti sadhu sadhu sadhu. So it's very meaningful to chant Pāli because it's Buddha words. But we also need to read the English and Chinese. Then we understand the meaning. All right. Because through the Pāli, yes. But if you don't understand the meaning, so you get some good deeds. But if you really understand the meaning, your mind will become you can contemplate it. So because Dhamma is not normal text like English, Chinese. Dhamma is the teaching you learn from the Buddha. So 我们讲当然是可以读巴利字，可是我们不懂那个含义，所以我们要放按英文的后来。当我们懂那个含义，所以这个诵经变成一种修行。So it become a practice for us to do. Alright, now according to timing is a tea break. Okay, shall we go for a stop or a stretch of leg? Then we come back again. Alright. Okay, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.